the elements of what we just did on the bass side to support the saxophone player. What's your name?
Brian.
Brian
Myers.
Myers. That's Brian Myers, by the way. The elements are kind of in three parts. The first part is that you don't need a drummer to play time. No offense. Time exists in a space that we don't control. It's like your heartbeat. Your heart doesn't need to, you don't have to have somebody telling you your heart's beating. It's just going to do that, you know. My heart beats on 2 and 4, so I'm lucky because I don't have to chase the 1, you know. But some people in the classical world live on 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's kind of German, isn't it? 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2. It's kind of like a march, but I like this because it allows you to think 1, 1. So you have time to kind of find that 1, you know. And you can do a lot of things and still wind up on 1. Now, the elements of time does not have to be played to exist. The record, this was, the reason why I put this on for a moment, and this is my, one of my studies of Monk. I've been studying Monk's music since I was a teenager. And this has tunes like Twinkle Tinkle, Brilliant Corners, all the things that most people do not like playing because they're angular. Some of them have 5-bar bridges or 6-bar bridges. Some of them don't have 7-bar passages. He wrote music for his own benefit, for his own liking, but didn't always fit in with metronomics. You know what metronomics are? They're mathematics. 2 is 4, 4 is 8, and so on and so forth. He didn't write music that way. He wrote music in terms of melody, harmony, and purpose. So there's always been my intention to give credence and to give reverence to this incredible man. First as a pianist, second as a drummer, and third as a composer. So this was, and the music that I played, that was playing on this, didn't have a drummer, didn't have a piano player, just had a saxophone and bass, both linear instruments. So, and we were trying not to set up cliche patterns so that, like most people want to hear in Monk's music, we were looking for a way of saying these things in a duet form that was more linear and less to do with the harmony. Because if you start adding harmony into something where you don't have more than 2 notes, it gets a little tricky, especially in the 9ths and the 11ths and all that stuff. So we did the best we could with this particular recording. I think it's a good interpretation of what chromaticism is all about. It's about playing a melody or playing a piece of music as though somebody else is playing the melody, which now you have, especially between a duet, now you have like 2, 3 people. The person who's not playing, that's the guy that's doing all the things you are. And then we have Brian and I, and we're playing off of each other, who are hearing this person who doesn't exist play all the things you are. Now, I don't know if everybody could follow what we just played, but it was pretty much in the pocket. I also use subdivision a lot. 3 against 4, 5 against 3, 6 against 8. Different ways of taking away from one particular rhythm or one particular time and adding something else which refers to that time but has other reference points. And then you do this by counterpoint. You do this by double time. You do this by cutting time in half. You do this by playing notes that are off the beat rather than on the beat. And all this creates some sort of divergence from the regular swing time. Although it still swings. That's that drummer that doesn't exist. I always play as though there's a drummer playing. That's the way I play music. So my music, if anything, if I'm playing standards, you could say that it swings in a very angular fashion. Now, if you know anything about Thelonious Monk, you know that that's exactly how he created all this music. He got up there and he played things off the beat. He put 5 notes in 7-note space, and he used notes that fit together. They used to call them, in the old days, they used to call them devil's notes, and they called them flatted fifths. The flatted fifth, that was his strongest suit. He always played flatted fifths. He never ended on the tonic. He always ended either a step above or a step below. But it still meant that he was ending on the tonic. So that's the principle behind it. One second. That's the principle behind the way I look at piece of music. The way I played as a bass player. Well, bass players usually play quarter notes. I play quarter notes and, or minus. But I don't ever play quarter notes just to play 4 beats. I think of it in terms of a harmonic sequence, a melodic sequence, all fitting into the way that music falls, the way that music is constructed. Now, if I make a passage like Monk would do, like, it's going to fall on 1. I can't exactly tell you what the notes are in there because I'm doing it immediately. It's the immediate approach to improvising off of that space. But I don't have it figured out. I just know that I have to be somewhere in 3.5 beats. And that's the way I look at contemporary improvisation. By the way, just to set the myth straight, there is no such thing as improvisation. There's only knowledge.